Hi, I'm James Lamont, fellow at the Bedeen Center for Rural Economic Development at the University of Minnesota Crookston. Today, we're going to talk about an interesting beginning to this year's farming protests in Europe. Typically, we see quite a few protests on any given year in Europe. However, this year is particularly more widespread than normal, as well as much more focused on areas that are impacting various farming communities throughout the EU. Farmers across the European countries have organized. So it's no longer just, hey, this is what's going to happen in Berlin, this is what's going to happen in Paris, Rome, etc. Now it's a very organized and highly impactful protest across many countries impacting the agricultural sector. The areas that are of concern right now, because again, it's multifaceted depending on the country, include environmental regulatory constraints. Many farmers believe that these proposed laws, not just at the national level, but the EU level, especially as they pertain to carbon footprints and protecting biodiversity, may have gone too far and maybe too stringent. In addition, global market pressures, increased competition, and reduced subsidies for farmers in Europe due to free trade agreements are placing a pretty significant strain on the farming community. And you have inflationary pressures as well on the input side. So it's kind of coming together at the same time. Also, there are concerns over proposed land use and property rights regulatory or regulations. Some of these proposed changes in land use policies and property rights emerged as rather significant issues with fears over losses of land and or livelihoods. In addition, as this typically happens in Europe, the governments have reacted quite quickly and have opened up negotiations in Berlin as well as Brussels. If you're at the EU level, you're seeing massive lead protests that have opened up both government body and farming representative negotiations. There are visible public awareness and support mechanisms in place for the challenges facing the agricultural sector, as agriculture is very traditional and culturally ingrained in many European cultures. As a result, you're seeing major economic disruptions. This is through blockades and demonstrations, impacts on supply chains, and in some instances, you're seeing relief measures from governments that are either creating less stringent proposals for the regulatory adjustments or funding relief measures to aid the farming community. This is difficult naturally because of the straddling between the requirements both from the EU as well as national governments. So we're seeing increased dialogue on sustainable farming and sustainability being not just environmental sustainability, but also economic sustainability to ensure that small farms and medium-sized farms are able to continue to compete and stay open in the long run. This will be something to watch because it could impact crop prices moving forward. And I will join you next time. Thank you.